Stories about visions of Elijah the prophet are not only a thing of the past. The following contemporary story was told by Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach. A few years ago, on the day after Passover, I had the privilege of giving a concert for Hadassah, a Jewish women's organization of New England. The concert was wonderful, but when I spoke about Judaism, the women seemed uninterested in spiritual things. Sometimes you say something and you don't even know why you said it. I said to them, "My dearest ladies, I don't know if you ever saw Elijah the prophet. To tell you the sad truth, I didn't see him either. But I swear to you, the children saw him. What a privilege to be the mothers of children who saw Elijah the prophet." Afterward, one of the women came up to me and said, "Do you know what you said? I can testify to it. My husband is a psychiatrist. Passover night we have a little Seder. This year, my husband called me up on the phone to tell me, 'All this hocus pocus is getting on my nerves.' Now we have a little girl, Maxine," he said. "Maxine will ask me 4 stupid questions, and I'll have to answer. It's stupid. The whole thing makes no sense. Let's just eat dinner, and that's it." So I said, "You're right. I don't care so much either." About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my little girl Maxine came home from school. Her eyes were glowing with joy. She said, "I can't wait for my friend Elijah the prophet to come visit me. Do you know Elijah the prophet is coming to see me tonight?" I realized that I couldn't do this to her. I called my husband in his office and said, "Listen, we have to do a little Seder because Maxine is so excited about it." He said, "Okay, we'll have a little Seder. She can ask the 4 questions, I'll mumble a few words, but that's all." My husband came home annoyed and said, "Maxine, let's go, ask the 4 questions." She asked them, he mumbled a few words, and then we ate dinner. Then my husband said to Maxine, "Now go to sleep so you'll get to school tomorrow on time." She said, "Daddy, Elijah the prophet is coming to see me." This was too much for my husband. He said, "We're not old-fashioned Jews who believe in fairy tales. We're modern Jews. We don't believe in fairy tales. Go to sleep right now." My little Maxine ran to the window. In her whole life, she never cried so much. I walked up to the window and said, "Maxine, why are you crying so much?" She said, "Mommy, can't you see Elijah the prophet standing at our door crying?" Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach concluded, "I just hope that wherever this little Maxine is now, she still waits for Elijah the prophet. So many of our children are so holy. They are all matzah children. Sadly enough, we put chametz, leavening, into them. Our excuse is we want them to rise. We want them to be higher, more civilized. That is not what we need. We all need to be matzah yidden, Jews who have real faith." Usually, Elijah the prophet appears to mystic adepts, but he also appears to children because their matzah-like humility and innocence. The flat, unleavened matzah is often considered a symbol of humility. The rabbi said that after prophecy ceased in Israel, children were still receptive to divine communication. How can we attain spiritual insight? How can we open our eyes to see the divine reality? One vital aspect of the mystic path is tmimut, pious simplicity. When we are childlike, as the little girl like Maxine, we too will see the truth. This story comes from Jewish Tales of Holy Women by Yitzchak Buxbaum.